Today, we'll make a story for our Parkour game to answer all of the questions the player might have when first launching up the game. Let's go! Since I don't want to bombard the player with a bunch of text when they first boot up the game, I decided to make an NPC that will guide you through the levels and tell you a piece of story whenever it's relevant for the player. So first I jumped into Blender and made a 3D model for the NPC, and then I gave it some textures and put it into the spaceship. I've made the spaceship larger, so we have more space for doing parkour. Currently, the NPC doesn't really do anything, so let's write some code and change that. When you walk up to the NPC, a little message pops up so new players know how to talk with the NPC. At the beginning of the tutorial level, he just tells you to get familiar with the controls first. Therefore, I am using this sci-fi texture, which can also be found in the new main menu. Many of you seem to prefer the menu layout, which I showcased in the last devlog. I added in this background scene, which is just a part of the spaceship with this window and some asteroids in the background, which move into a random direction. I also created this little spacecraft and put it into the background. It's heavily inspired by the X-Wing from Star Wars, that's why they have some things in common. I added the NPC and an alien into the main menu and changed up the UI to fit the space theme. I have not created a logo for the game yet, but I'll do this in a future devlog. In the tutorial level, we can find the spacecraft from the main menu because we have just landed on the bigger spacecraft. Our mission is to exile the aliens so the people can continue to build the space station. Because the space station is not completely finished, there are parts separated from one another and blocks everywhere which allow the player to do parkour. For the tutorial level, I created a basic parkour which teaches the player the mechanics of the game. But we really need to do something about the lighting, since there are black spots everywhere and it does not look particularly nice. I first tried to generate ambient lights, but it would have taken more than one day and all of my PC's hardware specs were used to generate the ambient lights in Unity. Because I want to use my computer for other things, I needed to cancel the process and find another way to improve the lighting. After a while, I found a pretty easy to do solution which didn't eat up all of my RAM. It involved using directional lights. I gave the directional lights a color so I could very easily see which areas were affected by the light and which were not. Then I just duplicated the directional light and gave it another rotation until the whole room was orange. But since we don't want everything to be orange, I gave the lights a silverish color, which works well with the color of the spaceship. Now all of the black shadows are gone. Yay! I also added lava to some areas of the map. I recommend you not to fall into it because it sends you back to the spawn. I also added slopes for the player to slide down. At the end of the tutorial level, I created this giant door. In order to open this door, you need to shoot this button and then the door opens up and brings you to the next level. After I created the parkour and the tutorial level, I went ahead and gave everything a solid color. This makes it easier for the player to recognize the different parts of the map. For example, slopes are green and wall-runnable walls are red. In the next devlog, I want to add sound effects and music to the game because at the moment it is totally silent. I'll also make more levels and fix some bugs. Like if you liked and dislike if you didn't, smash subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss the next devlog. Tell me in the comments down below what you think of the new features, and then I hope I'll see you soon. Bye!